Hello, hello. This is a message. I was watching a young lady on here, and she was, asking women in their 40s, you know, for advice. Anything that we can give. And I think if you are someone in your 40s, a woman in your 40s, we should do a challenge, right? Because one thing I'm big on is giving back and giving what I didn't receive. I had to figure things out on my own. I had to allow life to be my teacher along with God. And I'm grateful to say that at this age, I have what it takes to give someone advice. Um, and if I were to give any young woman that come across this page advice, do not live your life without making God the foundation of your life. It's not something religious. It's not something to say because it sounds good. My life didn't get better until I allowed God to be the head of my life. When I was born into this world, I was born into chaos. I was born into toxicity. I was born to, parents who were emotionally unavailable because of their own trauma. But yet they did the best they could. My mom, who raised me, she did the best she could, and I'm grateful for that. But what she lacked, I lacked. And those are the areas I had to figure out on my own. And I was living life traumatized. I was living life out here just being led by what I was exposed to, whether it was in my environment, what I was watching on television, because that's what back then we had our TVs. Now we have our devices like our cell phone, social media app. I was being conditioned and programmed by the movies I watched, the popular shows that were out. I learned about love through movies, and coming up, Tyler Perry plays was what I've learned about. When it came, his plays were the place that I thought I was being taught about love. Okay, and I'm just saying this because it's still happening now. And the stuff that is being put out on social media, society, what it's looking like now, the conditioning and the programming, I see it is happening now. So I would get in a relationship thinking that a marriage would be my golden ticket to a better life, a healed life. And that became something that I idolized. And because I didn't get the information, the knowledge of who God was, and that He was the way, He was the one that could supply all of my needs, I was chasing what society told me that would be the way out. And up until 30, I got tired. Because everything that has conditioned me, everything that society was promoting, everything that I thought was popular, everything that I thought I needed didn't work for me. If anything, it drained me and it pushed me closer to God. And when I finally decided to give my life to God, that's when I discovered what my mother didn't have the ability to give me was love. I needed direction for my life. I didn't know my purpose. I didn't know my identity. But when I got close to God, I found out that while I was in my mother's womb, God had given me all of those things. But it's just that when I was born into this world, I was groomed and molded into everything but what God has molded me to be when I was in my mother's womb. The best thing that my mother did was put me in a church. She didn't know how I was going to move with that. She didn't know. She just knew. She put me in a church. And me being connected one way or another led me to discover and remember who I am. So if I were to give you any advice, if you are in this world and you feel lost, you feel confused, you don't know what to do, you don't know who to talk to, develop a relationship with your Lord and Savior. If you've always felt anger, you don't know what peace feel like, you don't know what love feel like, God say, I give you peace. Not the kind of peace that we seek in the world. We get into a relationship because we think, hey, a relationship is going to be soothing to the soul, but we remain in toxic relationship to avoid being alone, sacrificing our mental health and our emotional health because we fear being alone. But with God, His peace is beautiful. His peace is amazing. When I discovered who God was after living this life of confusion, not knowing which direction to go, God taught me things that my mother couldn't teach me. God taught me things that I was supposed to learn as a young woman because I didn't have that. And He led me to other women of God who were able to teach me. See, God is the way. He's going to open doors and He's going to bring other women into your life that will take the place of a mother figure, that will take the place of a sister, of all of the things that you are lacking coming up. So the moral of the story is put God first. And every question that you have about who you are, every answer that you don't have, God is going to give it to you. And He's going to connect you with the right people to assist you on this journey of self-discovery. Do not be conformed to the ways of this world. Do not be conformed to the conditioning and the programming of this world. Do not try to fit in, because you have got to understand that when God created you, He gave you something unique. He gave you something beautiful that separates you from the ways of this world. There's something different about you. That is what makes you great. That is what's going to make your purpose great. But you have to find it in your Lord and Savior. Do not allow anything or anybody convince you that your Lord and Savior is not the way, is not the truth, and is not the light. I am a living witness. I am a living witness. The Bible said, ask and ye shall receive. Ask God for guidance. Ask God to bring into your life the people that can help you and lead you and guide you. Ask God for help, and He will give it to you. But the most beautiful relationship that you can ever have, before you think a marriage will be the one, before you think a relationship with a man will be a beautiful relationship, is with God. Because you want Him to be your first love. He's a father. Just the same way a little girl that has been born with a father in a household, she grow up to be the kind of woman with standard and expectation for men to show up the way her dad did. That is how God is going to raise you in His presence, even as a grown woman. It's the kind of love that God is going to give you, the attention, the validation, the reassurance, the clarity, all of the things that you've been lacking that only God can give you. And when you get it, you're going to be molded, you're going to be groomed, and you're going to come to the original version of who you were when you were in your mother's womb. And He's going to love you to a point that you're going to see that it's not a marriage, it's not a relationship, it's nothing externally. You can do whatever you want to your body, you can do whatever you want, make as much money as you want, but you are not truly satisfied and fulfilled unless you have God as your first priority, and you will learn that. So no matter what it is that you do in this life, no matter what it is, if you put God first, you will not be led astray. You will not be lost. You will not be confused. And everything that you have lacked, you will no longer lack. With God, you lack no good thing. You will become, and God will show you the way through this life. So put Him first. That is my advice to any young woman, who is seeking a way. God bless, and as always, thank you for listening.